My name is Jamie Piles. I joined Samaritan in December of 1996. We were homeschooling our kids, and we were already thinking outside the world's box, if you will. And I saw a little tiny classified ad about this new kind of idea I'd never heard of before. My first reaction was, that's the kind of thing that we would do, isn't it? And so I finally called the number, talked to them, and the more I asked them questions, the more I liked their answers.
This is a great beginning to our shows this week.
Did you say something?
Wow. Yeah.
Beautiful.
You know what I hear in my head?
The hits.
Yeah, hits. Toby feels the hit now. I like how Knox can just pick up that beat.
Everybody. Man, y'all give me my...
Advent!
This is my
Welcome
joint.
to Cross Politics on the Fight Laugh Feast Network. Pastor Toby Chalk Knox. I'm the Water Boy. And for the whole month of Advent, club members, we're doing a drawing every show.
Yeah.
And if you aren't a club member, you can become a club member and you can participate in the drawing.
Join the pub.
So for this drawing,
That joint smacks, man. Like Hendo smacks, y'all. I don't care what you say. He don't miss.
we're giving
he
away
don't miss.
these hats are pretty sweet.
Oh, man. Look
Oh,
at
the
that.
leather on
Isn't
that.
that nice? Black on leather, black on
that's
brown. So
nice.
good. We're
I
giving
want
away
that. Am I in the drawing?
No, you are not in the drawing.
Oh, man.
Because you are not a club member.
And
You're
doing a drawing. Here we go.
The random drawing. Hey, can I get the
Drum.
I have all our club members here.
Drum.
And it's coming. Philip K. Philip K. I'll be emailing you for your address, for your
Philip
correct
K.
address, your shipping address.
Philip K.
For that hat.
You want a hat?
And that magazine.
And a magazine. All
All
the Philip
right,
K's
Philip.
are like,
Yep.
is it me? Is it me?
Philip, thank you for being a club member.
We aren't done yet.
Oh,
okay.
there's
So
more.
Philip K. Man,
Philip K. You
Merry
just won.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I keep playing this? 'Cause
So,
it's so good.
yeah, just keep put on. Just like let me just talk a little bit, okay? So this is from a friend who listens to the show. Corey W. Corey W.
Okay,
Yeah,
Corey.
Corey W. W. I think he's a pastor. Corey Knox. Here you go, man. Here you go.
It's addressed to you.
All right.
Put that in. Put that on.
all
Okay.
right.
Okay. No. There's something for everybody.
Okay.
Knox.
Yo.
The robe is for you. Robe. So you got that robe. Look at that. Look at that royalty.
I got royalty
Look
in
at
my
that
family,
royalty.
baby. Come on
You're
now.
no doubt the hardest working man in FLF.
What?
And like the godfather of soul, you deserve the regal
You
cape
know what? He ain't
to
said
show
nothing
it.
but a word. He ain't said
To
nothing
show
but a
it.
word. I'll rock this.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming, Pastor Corey. Here you go.
Oh, my goodness.
Fix
Give me some
my
help over
train.
there.
Fix my train.
It's inside out. It's inside out.
Okay. Well, I don't know how to wear these. I ain't never had royalty on me before like this.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, my goodness.
He said, move forward as the prince of podcasters and keep baptizing them babies. All right. So that's good. Gabriel. If we, your fans and viewers, know anything, is that you're a proud Texan.
That's true.
I'm not sure how long one must live in Moscow for that to become his home. And if his kids are born, married, and bear children, they're all in Moscow, then maybe you're an Idahoan.
Uh-oh.
Maybe. I don't mind Idaho. I don't mind taking Idaho. The barbecue sauce is for you, my friend. Texas may have a robust barbecue tradition, but most historical claims say it originated in the Carolinas. So this guy's from the Carolinas.
Uh-oh.
These are my 3 homemade sauce. What?
Ooh.
Homemade
Yo,
sauces.
Corey!
Hope you enjoy it.
I mean, it's nice, Corey, but I can't taste it.
So North Carolina and South Carolina, they're kind of known for their vinegar barbecue sauces.
Yeah.
So this is a vinegar barbecue. Okay. And then of course South Carolina is really known for its mustard barbecue sauce. So that's mustard.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can go by region if you want me to. I got it.
Can we put can we get through the little thing? What do we
You want to dip on it?
I just,
this is Carolina sweet barbecue sauce. So this is just
wow.
open up, try it.
Well,
yeah.
You ain't saying nothing but a word over there,
All
bro.
right, Pastor Toby. Hey man.
This is
we
still
got
tight.
our listeners
know
blessing
about
us this Christmas. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
yeah.
Pastor
Christmas.
Toby, your wisdom and clear-headed advice on topics from the family to being a joyful warrior have emboldened me in my own life and ministry. The Lake Norman, our North Charlotte area of North Carolina is regularly bathed in theonomic, presuppositional, Kuyperian, and postmillennial doctrine because of the Moscow influence and the sound, exegetical manner in which it is always presented. So, Toby, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he's gifted you a prayer journal. and a quill, like a real
Oh, wow.
quill.
What?
Yeah, check this out.
What?
Check this out.
Oh, my goodness.
Like a real quill.
Oh, my
And look at
goodness.
that prayer
Oh,
journal.
my
Look at that journal. That
goodness.
is pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
these nice.
Whoa.
Oh,
Yeah, he's nice. He's nice.
Whoa.
yeah. I don't know what happened there.
What in the world?
That is nice.
Isn't that great?
Look at that.
Open up the quill. I want to see the quill.
Everything just got better.
Leather.
I mean, I don't feel
Look
left
at
out
Knox.
of nothing, but
Hey,
my
hey, staff, take a picture of this. We got to put it on the show card.
This is like
you know we're doing a show live, so I don't know why we
like-
need a picture.
homemade or something, man.
That is
Isn't
nice.
that amazing?
Who made this?
I don't know.
Some cow, man. That's what you call like
Some cow.
Pastor Corey.
Okay.
Pastor Corey.
Pastor Corey. Thank you,
Yep.
sir.
Props.
Thank you very
I want
much.
to see that
Pastor
quill.
Corey.
Here, I'll open it up for you while you read the ad.
Okay.
I'm not
All right,
taking this
open it.
off, by the way.
Don't
I'm doing it.
whoa, don't break it.
It's okay.
Don't break
It's
it.
okay. Just baptize a little bit of the flow.
If you're a fan of Cross Politic or the Fight Laugh Feast Network, then surely you know we have a merch store, right? Rowdy Christian Merch is your one-stop shop for everything Cross Politic merchandise. We got t-shirts, hoodies, hats, but we've also got specialty items like backpacks, mugs, coffee, even AirPod cases. Visit Rowdy Christian Merch at rowdychristian.com, rowdychristian.com, and buy that next gift. I mean, Christmas, hello.
Be like Corey. Bless. Oh my goodness.
Christmas,
This is beautiful. I'm sorry. I'll let you finish your ad.
you're distracting me.
I'm sorry.
Buy that next gift, buy a Christmas present, a little something for yourself. Everybody in the family needs some Rowdy Christian merch. So rowdychristian.com, rowdychristian.com, buy that Christmas present.
That is incredible.
Be like
That's
Corey.
fun.
Buy
That's
somebody
cool.
special
something
gift
nice.
for you.
Look at that.
That's gorgeous.
It's legit.
Oh my goodness
You gotta
gracious.
turn it around, let people see that.
Pastor
That's-
Corey?
Okay,
that.
Luther.
Oh my
Luther.
Oh my goodness.
Those 95
Calvin.
theses.
Oh look, it's got a little
It's got a dipping jar
yeah,
or whatever
like
you call
the
it.
little dipper thing.
Ink.
Ink
splat or something like that. Yeah.
thing. Ink thing.
It's just a lot of. I can't wait to see what you write.
Oh my goodness.
That's
I'm
amazing.
like afraid to use this.
I know. It's great.
I'll
You
just
can also stab someone.
I'm just I like how you think, Gabe.
That's
I'm
funny.
just gonna put that on my desk and be like, look at that.
All right, so this past week, Ron DeSantis and Gavin Newsom debated on Sean Hannity.
Was
So
that really a debate?
Sean, I mean, yeah, there was some substantive stuff discussed, but there was a lot of Trumpian over talking each other.
You said there was substance. There was.
There was some substance
things.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
The nice thing about the debate, I didn't catch it all, but I caught a lot of videos. The nice thing about the debate, it was just 2 people instead of like 10.
Yeah, right.
Right. So you got a lot more.
Okay.
Of that.
I want to see this.
Yeah. But here's I made probably the best summary of the debate.
Okay.
To the issue of
Where's your
education.
decency and humanity and
The
grace when it
decency
comes
of
to these
taking,
things.
ripping somebody away
Gentlemen,
from
gentlemen,
from their
please.
family,
Nobody can.
taking them to
Nobody can hear you.
Part
That
of
is
the Ron
wrong.
DeSantis
That is
brand.
wrong.
I'll tell you.
All right.
That should
America's
not stand in
violent.
this
Ron,
country.
Let us turn, gentlemen. If I.
It kind of there's a little bit of B League feel
Wow.
to the debate.
What was substantive?
Gentlemen,
B-League?
nobody can understand you.
What was it that you
Yeah.
found substantive?
Oh, I mean, it's kind of we're joshing a little bit here. But there was a lot of this.
Josh and no bice.
Don't take Josh's
Yeah.
vein.
Josh and no bice. I get you. You know, here I didn't see the debate. I had to go back and watch it after I didn't see it live, but I saw a lot of people inside of conservative media really, and Republicans and a lot of Christians just going off and really saying, man, this was a bloodbath. And they were really giving DeSantis a lot of praise.
Yeah.
And, I did a show.
So people thought that DeSantis mopped the floor with
Absolutely
Newsom.
mopped the floor. And I got to say, and our producer brought this up, and I think he's making a very good point. Neil, this hat's off to you. He said the person who really is not really respected, but that kind of has some balls here really is Newsom. You got to think about it. Newsom has done things that even our detractors and people who we've asked to come on Across Politics has done. He's actually went to the Lion's Den, which is Fox News, went to Georgia, sat down and actually in Sean Hannity's show and debated the top, one of the top Republicans out there running for president.
I mean, by top, you mean like 30-point spread.
Well, Newsom
number
isn't
2.
even running for president yet.
Oh, he is.
Yet.
He is.
He's not on the ballot.
But he can't.
Yet.
He can't run for president yet because Papa Biden got him.
Well,
in
he
his little
said
corner.
he's not going to, and Biden's going to. He says he's going to vote for Biden. So, but the thing
but
that,
DeSantis also called him on that. He's running. I mean,
but here, until the man says that's not what he's doing, I'm going to hold the man to what he said, and then I'll say he's a liar when he decides
that's
to
not
go.
politically what he's doing.
Yeah, okay.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
And that's Papa Biden
That's
telling Newsom,
telling him, yeah.
go back to California, wait your turn.
But here's the thing that bothered me. What bothered me about this was that I think we've become very comfortable cheering for, because we're so desperate for good, godly leadership, we've become comfortable cheering for Republican wins, cheering for Republicanism, cheering for the right, instead of like, where is the guy who's going to go on a stage like that and who's going to function as a priest and say, I am here for the glory of the Lord Jesus Christ. I am here because everything that we're doing, particularly in California, is opposed to the reality of Jesus Christ being king. Right. That's not what we're cheering for. When we're so desperate that when we get like somebody who passes their head towards that direction, we're like, yeah, that's our guy. But I'm not satisfied with that anymore. I'm not satisfied just having, somebody who tilts their hat towards a Republican or towards a conservative Christian position. Mm-hmm. I want somebody who's out there, who's vigorous for the glory of Christ and how they do politics. And this is why I love what Dusty Deavers has done. Like, Dusty is out there, he ain't pulling no punches about that. Yeah, right. And what's been amazing in this particular conversation with Christian nationalism and watching Dusty Deavers go out is that people who are not necessarily super pro-Christian nationalism,
they're donating to Deavers' campaign,
have supported Deavers. Yeah. And I was like, oh, so you see a man and you see his position, what he stands for, and you're like, I live better in the world where a Christian nationalist like Dusty Deavers is leading versus opposing him, right? I live better in that world. And the proof of that, to me, has been something that took place, I think it was about a week ago. I think this ad dropped, maybe a little longer. Okay. But I think Christians always find things late. This ad from Chevy popped up on the media and social media, and everybody from Christian nationalists to anti-Christian nationalists to dispensationalists to Baptists to Presbyterians to charismatics, all these people who really could never don the shadow of the other person all started sharing the same ad. Yeah. And they all started saying the same thing, which is, this brought me to tears. Wow, this is beautiful.
Hello there.
Gramps? Well, we got you a present. We hope you like it. Come on.
How is she?
Good days and bad, Laura, but the love is always there.
More bad days than good?
Some days is when she doesn't even recognize me.
I'm so sorry, Daddy.
Let's make today a good day.
Hang on a second. You'll need these, Tracy.
Yes, Mom.
And don't be too long.
Yeah, K5 Blazer. That's gonna be my kids. Put down the old K5, wake them up.
Ready?
Don't ruin it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. All right. Get your seatbelt on.
That's the old first one of the first Suburbans. Beautiful.
Woo! Yeah.
Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy.
That car is probably worth about $150,000 now.
Some good lights this year, right?
I wonder if it'll snow. It never seems to snow as much as it used to.
Climate change.
Oh, shakes from Bittersweet Cafe.
I tell a tale, sure to make you
Saginaw?
You were actually born in that house.
Oh.
Here's your old high school.
Wish that I could wish for you.
Bill.
My first horror movie. I'm not sure Mom ever forgave you for that.
We put a whole lot of you in the back of this thing.
Yeah, that's right. Me, Chris, Jeff, Phil.
Jeff is a troublemaker.
Sunshine in my eyes can make me cry. Sunshine.
Gramps says this is where he first kissed you.
No.
Look so lovely.
I kissed him. He was far too shy.
Almost
Bill, I need to see Bill. Oh, he can't do the dinner alone.
Sunshine, almost all the time, makes me high. Sunshine, almost
It's good to be together. Be careful there. Watch your step. You got it?
I do.
You have it? All right.
I have it. You've always been the clever one.
Merry Christmas, Gramps.
Ah, Merry Christmas. Let's go.
Let's go in.
if I had a day that I could give you, I'd give to you a day just like today.
That hat got hot,
It gets
and it made
warm.
my eyes just kind of do the
Made your
thing.
eyes-
And-
That, you mean the
water?
truck? You mean the truck made your eyes? That,
no,
that
the,
truck got
the
me
hat
cry,
got hot,
man.
and
I
my
love-
eyes started sweating
I
a little
love that.
bit. But I was, you know,
that GMC Suburban.
this not
might be that robe.
well, you know, this is okay. I feel like James Brown. Ha! Hit him one time. You know, it's funny. I shouldn't have thought this when we came out of the ad, but the first thing that I thought about was, man, Bud Light can learn a few things from Chevy, can't they?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, there wasn't. This was a Chevy commercial that wasn't all just about Chevys, but was all about Chevy. And the first thing that stuck out to me watching this clip go around the internet was the fact that these guys who, again, we can't get evangelical reform guys to come into a room and talk about Christian nationalism.
Right.
But they can all get behind this clip and share this clip and say the exact same thing. And it made me think like, oh, maybe our form of communication is probably a little funky right now because we agree on this. Like we all agree. And this is the narrative that we all want. This is actually the future that we're striving to see. And it doesn't even matter what your eschatological positions are. This was beautiful. We all loved this because it's something that we currently don't think we're going to have anymore. And we all want it, and we desire to have that reality where the home is there and that the grandchildren are engaged with the grandparents, and that our culture and our loves have memories attached to them that bring us back to each other in a true love. And I'm like, you know, we are so busy worrying about how well our argumentations are on our positions. We got this and this, and nobody's creating anything that lets us know that we are sharing this reality. And this was like a tie where it's like, okay, this is just one end of the bow tie, and that's the other end of the bow tie, but you put it together and it's better. And I'm like, how can we come around where we say this is what we want, and we can work through the conversation on how we get there, but let's work towards that end. And I think it can be a reality. And part of what what hurts me in some of this conversation is I feel like a lot of the content that's coming, particularly out of Moscow, is making that is showing that reality. It's leaning this direction. And instead of people going in to say like, yes, godly families, godly education system, godly government, godly culture, they see it and they're like, I don't want that. But then I don't believe them because they all share the same, it's not an accident they share it. And they want it. And so the way that, so you look at the conversation with DeSantis and Newsom, and you look at that conversation, you're like, okay, that does not make any sense. I don't, none of my dogs are in that race particularly, right? You watch this commercial and you're like, that's it. Like, I want family.
I want that America.
I want that America, right? That's the kind of America I want. And where your old trucks still run because you have good ingenuity, right? right? And then you're not playing obsolescence and things like. But there's so much that's built into that ad, and it's like, okay, at some point we're going to have to move beyond our conversations of just pure argument. Well, not pure, because this is an argument.
Yeah,
that's what people are. This is an argument, and a lot of us aren't making better arguments like that, because I think a lot of people that actually think they disagree with this. Practically, in reality, no.
Right. They hear Dusty Devers.
Exactly.
And they're like, where do I give?
Right. Yeah. And why they've been holding campaigns against anti-Christian nationalism, for anti-Christian nationalism.
Right.
Right. And it's like, guys, that's the reason we want to talk, because we all believe that. Like, we believe in that kind of way. We believe the gospel produces that type of reality. That whole commercial is based off of the gospel being real and true and working its way in culture and society.
Whether GM means it or not.
Well, because they are, this is where people say, well, cultural Christianity, but that's it. Right? People know.
They all liked it.
Yeah, right. There is the other opposite of this is anti-cultural Christianity, where you don't have any Christian principles at all that exist inside of the content. And we're seeing a lot of those, rise up too. But we want this. And I'm like, okay, we have to, we are moving that direction. Our content has to be at a place where we make arguments more like this one, and then have a very robust systematics for how it works, and then present that and say, come and taste this, right? Because that is inviting, and that's making the case that our brother, listen, guys, come. And I want to make sure that people know that we can do that.
Van Gelder Technologies is a U.S.-based custom software development company specializing in cross-platform mobile applications, web applications, and desktop programs. Leveraging open-source frameworks, they quickly and efficiently build custom software solutions that are tailor-made to fit your specific needs. There's no need for New Christendom companies to be content. Ooh, New Christendom companies.
I like that one.
To be content with offering subpar mobile or web experiences. I think there's an extra with in that sentence. Van Gelder Technologies can help you build better software for the glory of God. You can learn more, view examples of their work, or get in touch at www.vangelder.tech. That's VANGELDER.tech. Van Gelder Tech. Van Gelder Technologies, where technology and tradition meet.
Can I say one more thing, and then I'll shut up. But when I saw this ad pop up, I was thinking, if I believe that all the people who saw this ad, who are on different sides, actually want this type of world and believe and think this is beautiful, then I can think about them in a different context when I'm arguing with them, right? And now when I address them, I deal with them, I'm like, I know you might not see this going that direction, but it is. And I know you want this. Let me show you how we get it. And it just changes the way that I start arguing with people about things. Is like, okay, I know you want this. I really do. Let me show you. And I've even talked to to people who are not Christians in that light. Like, you claim that you want humanism, right? Let me tell you about real Christian humanism, right? This is good. You want climate change, you want to save the planet, then you need to repent of your sins, right? Like, there is a reality of a longing for things to be restored. I think even in broken humanity, where they're longing for that in some ways, there's others that are absolutely wanting to destroy it all. But there's some people who are looking for like what they're have false idols. I want to say, no, those don't work. Here's the real God who gives you all the things that you're trying to find in an idol. And if I'm doing that with pagans, I want to be able to talk to my brothers and say, yeah, now that I know that you want this, and we all want this, everybody wants good families intact who love the Lord Jesus Christ and who are taking care of the elderly and so on and so forth. So then let's start there and work through.
Yeah, I'm still chewing on this. I feel. I am too. The first time I just watched this whole thing. So I saw a abbreviated version of this like during a football game or something like that recently. Maybe when it first came out. I don't know what it was, but a few thoughts occur to me. One is I agree. I think there's so much room for linking arms with the various tribes. So is what I hear you saying, and I know obviously you're applying this also to even unbelievers.
In some sense.
I think of people like Yoram Hazani, an Orthodox Jew who is arguing for a Protestant America. Yeah. So there's somebody who's not a Christian believer,
right.
but even he's done the historical research and said, you know what? Basically, Protestant civil theory built America. Right. Protestantism, Reformed evangelicalism built America, and it was best for everybody. Let's get back to that.
Right.
Even though he's an Orthodox Jew. I think of our boys at G3. I think of Josh Bice and Scott Annual and Virgil and those guys. And I think I think there's so much overlap with what we want. Even though there's a lot of significant differences.
Sure.
But like those differences are not like, I think there's a lot about the Christian roots of this country and American culture that we share. Like, I think all of us want that for our families.
Yes.
I think of David Bonson.
Yeah.
And kind of some of his crew. I don't even know all of them, but I know he's got kind of a crew that's, highly critical of Christian nationalism. Prefers, sort of the classical liberal order kind of language stuff. But again, like
I've seen a lot of them share this.
David Bonson watches this and he says, "That's the America I want."
Yeah.
And so I think first of all, I'm just like naming names. I just want to be like that's for me. When you talk this way, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of that breadth. Maybe some old school Reconstructionists in there. Maybe some, whatever. Moscow. All of us. Like, we want that America. So I agree with you. I think there's
but no gay flags flying around.
No.
They even said Merry Christmas. They're doing their best to tip their hat.
All that kind of stuff. But I'm thinking like, so yeah, with so much in common, why can't we be at the same table? Why can't we be in the same room together? And I think you're right. Like, if you have this shared context of like, we are brothers in Christ. We are Reformed brothers in Christ. We believe in the sovereignty of God. We believe in justification by faith alone. Yes, we do believe in that. Despite some protests, if we've got all that in common, and like, we got some stuff to work out in terms of particulars and details down the way, and we do different things with baptism and do some different things here and there. Why can't we get together? My instinct is to say that there is, for whatever reason, still there's too much of a sense that if our tribe doesn't win,
absolutely,
we can't win. Mm-hmm. Rather than we actually need all the tribes.
Yeah,
I literally don't I'd be glad for Josh Bice to be the Christian prince.
Right.
I'd vote for him.
I'd be glad for David Bonson to be the Christian prince. Whatever, and I mean that sort of metaphorically. I mean, like, lead the charge.
Right.
Like, you get to have the flag, and you get to run it up the flagpole. And it's like,
honestly, David is kind of doing that anyway, isn't he?
I know. But I guess I'm just saying, like, I think we need to be thinking that way. Like, we have so much work to do. Like, let's not fight. We can have the argument.
Yeah.
Have the discussions. Like, we do that. Like, we talk about, but
a fight in the trenches.
But the reason why we named our network Fight, Laugh, Feast was for this very reason.
Yeah.
We wanted our real brotherly arguments, and then even the arguments that we're having with not brothers.
Right.
We wanted it to be sort of surrounded by real deep Christian laughter and feasting.
That's right.
Like the Christ is King, and we want Him to get the glory. That's the bottom line. But I think that means that we got to also just sort of like, we ought to do our best with where God has put us and not care who gets the credit, not care whose ministry wins, so to speak. Like, who cares?
May God increase and us decrease.
I think there's also this, we are trying to always figure out who's more Christian than the other. I think there's a reality to that. And I get it. And there's nothing wrong with arguing your distinctives, but arguing those distinctives in fellowship is the important thing, right? That's fun. And that's why I love the CREC, because we can have those arguments while we're actually still taking communion with each other. That's a beautiful thing.
Right.
And so there is, I don't. The heart of it for me, watching the conversation, is we don't believe that you really want that, right? A lot of people, if they believe, you know what, those guys out in Moscow or in Utah or in Arizona, they actually want that type of permeation of the gospel in society.
Right. Now,
we might disagree on how we get there, but there's no question about their heart towards the Lord in that matter. I don't see anybody making that particular claim. Right. Like, there's not a lot of people out there saying, and that's what's been really, Doug's article recently that just came out about this was like, hit it right on the spot. That is the reality. Like, we want other Christians to win.
Right.
That's the goal. And if you get there first and you're able to kick out the idols and bring the gospel in and we have revival, do you think we're going to be like,
Baptist won.
Oh, we're gonna get that Chevy ad.
I wish that was us.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm post-meal. I expect Baptist to win. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Rod Martin's
But I think the way that we look at it, our brothers are more like enemies than brothers.
Right.
And brothers and the way you can tell, because when a brother decides to have a fight with a brother, he completely makes him not a brother in the fight.
Right. So I was thinking, like, as I was watching that, I was thinking to myself, all right, Knox prepared us. He said everybody cries.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks this is the best thing ever. Everyone shares it. So I was like, I put my uber critical. Mind. I was like, I'm gonna find something in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now at the end, I found Happy Holidays.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is holy days. But
it is a Merry Christmas.
But
and climate change. You hear the little climate change
there's
comment.
There's a little maybe hand tip.
It doesn't snow like it used to.
Like it used to, right?
Yeah.
But the hero girl, of course, has a very butch haircut.
Yeah.
And so
gender neutral.
So the part of me could be like, okay, like, what are you trying to say? Like, you can have this while embracing feminism, like by embracing, no. But here's the thing:
you can sneak it in.
Here's the thing. No, maybe they thought that. Like, maybe they did. People, they do this all the time. But I'm happy to say, you know what? Everything else in that ad trumps it.
Yeah.
That's not a feminist ad.
Yeah.
No. That if anything, that was creeping patriarchalism.
Yeah.
That was
interesting.
Rhetorically.
Yeah.
In terms of like what they're celebrating the gifts
marriage,
of faithfulness in marriage.
Decades of marriage.
Generations
around the table.
Which is, you get that from sacrificial love and leadership.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you, I mean, who kept that car up?
Yep, Daddy.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
That's a so I'm happy to like not be nitpicking on that point.
Yeah.
Even though like I could.
Yeah.
And I'm saying the same thing. Like, if you can look at that ad and be like, man, there's some real glory there.
Yeah.
It's an image of an America that we used to have and could have again. And you're willing to overlook some of the, maybe a climate change reference, maybe maybe the butch haircut, whatever, and say, you know what, we could have that again. Well, that means, why can't you overlook the guy who says, I'm a Christian nationalist? Why can't you overlook the guy who says, I'm a theonomist? Why can't you overlook the guy that says, I'm a Baptist? Why can't you overlook the guy who says, I'm a charismatic? And I'm not saying overlook it without any discussion ever.
Of course,
but I'm saying in terms of, but what kind of America do we want?
Mm-hmm.
We want that kind of.
I honestly think a lot of the church these days would have wouldn't be able to fellowship with the Church of Corinth.
The what?
The Church of Corinth.
Oh yeah, we say it Corinth, but that's fine.
Yeah, Corinth. There's the Church of Corinth. There's
I can't have this conversation. No, can't have this
the
conversation.
Church on Crete. Gabe, Texas boy, just pronounced it all wrong. But when
we almost had him, Gabe.
I'm not inviting you to my thing.
But it's because I don't think we can put on like this, Paul's biblical worldview of how to process, sin, ecclesiastical fellowship, across these, sticky lines and everything, because they're very sticky.
Right.
But when I saw, kind of thinking through the video and watching it was my first time to see it too. The thing that kind of struck me is like, we're critical of Christian art. We're pretty critical of Christian cinema and stuff like that. But that's because that's our people, and we want our people to do better. And so I think not just Presbyterians or Baptists, I think everyone's kind of would like to see Christians do better in the arts. And so that's why we criticize the most. Why can GM, a car company, produce a commercial like that and Christians are having difficulty producing good art here? I think it's largely because our art is so full of like cowardly instincts. Like
maybe.
I was going to say COVID bailout money.
I mean, I think you always have a point where you say yes. Go ahead.
Yeah,
but no, you're going to make a point.
Our art doesn't want our kind of art. Our Christian art doesn't take risks, and you see this. This actually comes from the Kevin DeYoung article, where Kevin had a problem with the word wuss. I mean, we look at all of God's sharp objects in this world, and we're like, children, don't play with it. Put away the wine. Let's serve communion. Let's serve grape juice. Put away the harsh words, except for the Gospel Coalition when they, say, hey, this movie is really good, or this Taylor Swift tour is really good.
Right.
Then the sharp language over there is okay. The world can play with God's dangerous toys, but the church can't. And so we basically our art is coming from a position of cowardice and a position of being afraid of God's sharp objects that He played in this world. The last thing I want to say here, though. And an underlying, ugly belly behind that video is that GM actually is positioning itself to hate you. I mean, in COVID, they were forced vaccinating all their employees.
Yeah.
That right now they're working with the government to, produce electric vehicles, EV vehicles. And it's a government move. The only reason why GM ever went and played turned the corner on that move is because the government was forcing him to.
I gotta say,
and so
this too.
GM's not going to be pushing back against tyranny.
You're not going to be able to drive that early, that Suburban.
It's done.
I will say
it's
this,
done, especially California and Michigan.
We got to remember that all the campaigns that came out to promote COVID were all story branded. They weren't 1 and 0 arguments,
except for George Bush, Barack Obama, and Bill Clinton when they all came into one video.
That was a story.
It was a story.
And that was gay.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
yes,
it was a story.
Apology.
But what they did was, and they told better stories than we did about COVID.
Right.
They had better, their narratives were way better than ours were. And this is what I'm thinking, like, if we can get people, like, everybody wants to argue 1s and 0s. I'm fine with that. But if we were actually having a storytelling contest, I bet no one could tell the difference between a CNer and a non-CNer.
A what?
A
CN,
Christian nationalist,
non-Christian nationalist.
and a non-Christian nationalist.
CN.
Right?
A cerner.
Right?
A cerner and non-cerner.
I bet if we started telling stories, people wouldn't be able to tell the difference between Moscow and G3.
Yeah.
Right? If we started actually having a storytelling off, and the enemy was very clear who the target was, like, okay, we're always going to be a little more peppery, granted that. But I bet you there's going to sound like, well, that looks like the same team.
Right.
And that's what's starting to become very obvious to me. Like, okay, let's get into the storytelling Olympics.
Yeah.
Right. I want to have that fight. I want to move into, and then and we can have all the theology behind it. But when you start telling stories, you're moved up to a level of rhetoric that is far more convincing.
Yeah.
And it helps people think better about their argumentations that they don't normally have against you.
Yeah.
Right. And so it helps people say, oh, well, if that's their argument, I can get with that.
I got an idea.
Okay.
But I'm not going to say it here.
Okay. Well, there you go. You have to save that for the next time.
I'm going to talk to you guys offline.
Okay.
But
Well,
I love it.
Write something. Will you write something?
if you're single, get married. If you're married, have some kids.
Might
If you have
stab
kids,
something.
Go baptize them. Until tomorrow, love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. Go fight, laugh, and feast. This is Cross Politic. I like this. I can get used to this. I need a blue one.
King Knox.
The Christian Prince.
My wife calls me Lord.
Hi, I'm Luke Ritchie. Wrong timeline. Okay, that's better. Time travel mechanics can get a little bit tricky. I'm Luke Ritchie, Chief Visionary Officer of Gravity Jack. In 2009, we founded Gravity Jack and essentially patented AR. What I'm about to tell you about is a vision that was 14 years in the making. War Tribe of Binyamin. This is a game that feels so real, it might be. It's a genre-defining game for AR and mobile and the Apple Vision Pro. We've integrated artificial intelligence not just into the characters in the game, but actually in the business model of War Tribe. So I love augmented reality games. They're one of my favorites. But the problem is it seems like they've added AR as an afterthought into the game. What if you sat down for 14 years and planned the entire thing around augmented reality? Games make a ton of money, and typically that money doesn't end up in the pocket of the players. We intend to change that. Lastly, and this is important, half the world has never and never will be targeted by big tech for an AI, natural language processing engine. We're definitely going to change that. War Tribe of Binyamin has gameplay like you've never seen before. We have portals opening everywhere, we have holographic communication, but what's really cool too is the world of 2133 is accurately geo-overlaid on the world of today. We're laser focused on ROI for our shareholders, which is you. One of the things we're doing that's super unique that's never been done before is taking 10% of in-game revenue monthly and giving it off as a dividend. The other co-founders and myself started Gravity Jack in 2009, but in 2007 we'd actually sold our company to a gaming company. We've hired the best of the best in terms of game development. Our director of development, product designer are all veterans in the gaming space. And not only that, we're going after a market that's gigantic. We're combining 4 huge major markets: artificial intelligence, augmented reality, translation, and gaming, all for a combined market value of $1.85 trillion.
Our incredible history has led us to be experts in mobile development, augmented reality, AI, gaming, and computer vision. It's been a wild ride here at Gravity Jack. A benefit to being so early on in augmented reality has led to a robust patent portfolio with active revenue and more to come. We've had the privilege of working with clients such as Oscar Mayer, Kraft, Lincoln, Samsung, T-Mobile. We've also worked on non-lethal Department of Defense contracts as well. We were a reference developer for Meta on the Oculus 2 directly, creating a game where other developers look to our source code for best practices. Early on in Gravity Jack's history, we did a game for Double Down Casino, and at the end of that contract, it was grossing $35 million a month. Our robust history has led us to be experts in augmented reality, AI, gaming, computer vision, and mobile development. Play to earn opportunities for the impoverished create an AI language model for unreached people groups, allowing us to have an eventual monopoly on speaking to half the planet. Our focus is shareholder dividends immediately after the game and into the future to create a game that's going to blow the world's minds. And we're pulling people out of poverty and into productivity. So what's the ask? Join the Binyamin.